What's up guys, Houndish here, and today I wanted to jump in with some Destiny 2 Forsaken DLC news. Of course, earlier today we had the reveal for Gambit. I did post a bunch of new gameplay of that. We check out the new supers and some of how Gambit is actually going to work, as well as some gear. But in this video I wanted to take a look at a bunch of other weapons that we'll be able to get in the Forsaken DLC, a little bit of information about some exotics, new characters, confirmation that Petra will be returning, information about the Dreaming City and the upcoming raid in the Forsaken DLC, as well as a bunch of other stuff, so let's jump straight into it. Before we get into it, I should say Activision flew me out to check out the new gameplay for Forsaken, so I really appreciate that. Also, on top of this, in the background you're seeing some new Gambit gameplay. This is actually from DMG from Bungie, so because our play sessions were relatively short, we ended up sharing a bunch of footage around between each other. I've actually had to jump in and make a quick edit to this video. We're going to talk about time to kill in the Crucible. A lot of people have been asking me since E3 began. I'm guessing it's the same for John Wisniewski. He tweeted out and he said, "Hello friends, fine-tuning ammo and time to kill in PvP is the last big item we're still working on for Forsaken. It's not locked in yet and we'll likely be tuning it until the last minute." They say they're playtesting every day to find the sweet spot. But there we go guys, that is confirmation. Bungie are actively working on a blanket time to kill reduction for PvP in Destiny 2 for when Forsaken actually drops. Personally, I've always been a fan of the faster time to kill on primary weapons. Right now, we've got a lot of exotics that can kill pretty quickly and are very strong. But what do you guys think? A blanket change to time to kill is going to be happening in September. We'll have to wait for more details. It could be a little while until we get them, but it is a thing. It is happening in Forsaken. So starting out, I just wanted to take a brief look at a few of the weapons that you can get in the Forsaken DLC. Some of these will be for Gambit and others will come from other sources. One of the really good weapons actually is a legendary pulse rifle called Bygones. It's a 390 round per minute weapon. In this build of the game, it has Rampage on it, which is a pretty awesome bonus. It absolutely shreds through targets. But of course, something to remember about this is that some of these weapons may actually have random rolls later down the line. So some of these bonuses will actually be different once the Forsaken DLC drops. You'll be able to, get different versions of them and everything like that. I didn't actually grab any gameplay of this one, but there is the Twilight Oath. This is a new sniper rifle, rapid fire frame, and it comes with box breathing. And there is the Snake Eyes rocket launcher. This is actually one that comes with tracking. This one definitely will come from Gambit. You can see the flavor text right there is from the Drifter, and the Drifter is the character that actually runs the Gambit mode. So that's also a new vendor. I also nabbed a quick look at this new scout rifle called the Vouchsafe. I think this one might come from some kind of activity on the Dreaming City. It's a lightweight frame scout rifle, and it comes with precision kills, create elemental damage, explosion, of course, Dragonfly, and this thing looks really, really fun. It's a 200 round per minute weapon. Also inspected this hand cannon, the Thin Line. It's aggressive frame, 110 rounds per minute, improves stability and accuracy as the mag gets lower. But of course, like I said, random rolls is going to be a thing, and I believe this is going to be present on a bunch of these weapons. Also, look at this. Badlander, this new shotgun, comes with lightweight frame and reactive reload, which is going to be very interesting. A reactive reload, or kill clip, shotgun, should I say, is going to be pretty mean. But throughout the gameplay that you can see in the background, there is a bunch of new weapons. Like I said, I did explain how Gambit works with some hands-on gameplay of that in my previous video. I'll link that one down below. Next, I wanted to talk about a new exotic weapon, and this is, of course, the hand cannon that we've spoken about a whole bunch. A lot of people have speculated that this is the Thorn. Others believe that it is a completely different weapon. However, in the reward section for the Gambit trailer, you do actually see this exotic hand cannon. The Bungie devs also confirmed this will be an exotic reward for the Gambit mode. So not only will it have its own loot table, the ability to grind for random rolls on that gear, there will be a high-level objective inside of Gambit that ultimately rewards us with this hand cannon. So that's very promising. I'm really glad that they're fleshing out the loot table and the reward systems here. But as we can see, it is a highly ornate weapon. It is definitely very similar to the Thorn. Sorry if you can hear any sirens in the background. I'm in a hotel room in Los Angeles right now. But of course, you have this taken effect on the weapon. An interesting thing to point out about it is that it actually appears to fire massive projectiles, very much like the Thorn did as well. So you can see this kind of thorn, although it has the taken effect, and it's stuck into this Cabal's head. And so it definitely suggests that there could be a link there at the very least. I don't necessarily believe that it is actually the Thorn. It could, of course, be an iteration of it, or something that is in some way linked to the weapon. All speculation aside, though, this is the Gambit exotic weapon, which is really cool. Now though, to talk about a few things, there was a developer interview from E3. This is with Scott Taylor and Steve Cotton, who are both producing this expansion. Before I get into too many more details about that, Steve Cotton did confirm to Game Informer that for the Forsaken DLC, all of our gear from year 1 of Destiny 2 will be infusible up to the new max level. So basically they didn't want to leave anything behind. He does add that of course you will need the Forsaken DLC to actually get that light level on your gear, but anything you currently have can be infused into year 2 of Destiny 2, so that's definitely positive. However, I don't believe we will be seeing things like random rolls added to the older weapons, or at least when I spoke to Lars Bakken about this, he said all of the new gear inside of the Forsaken DLC will have these new attributes, you know, so random rolls will be on all of the new stuff, but it isn't necessarily going to be on all of the old stuff. Either way, the fact that we can still infuse that stuff up is definitely positive in my opinion. They also talk about the new weapon slot system. Of course, you've seen that in action in some of the gameplay right here. We're still waiting on details on how these weapons are actually slotted and how Bungie are going to manage all of the inventory for that stuff. I mean, we can get a brief idea, but we don't have absolute clarification on it. They also talk about the Dreaming City, and Scott Taylor says there's a destination built out from the raid on the Dreaming City, and players will have to go there for various endgame quests and pursuits. There'll be a bunch of secrets and bosses to fight, so there's actual activities in the location. So Dreaming City is sounding actually pretty sizable. He also speaks about a tower that you really want to get up to, and this is actually where the raid is going to take place. So maybe you're actually kind of climbing one of the palaces in the Dreaming City, but he says Dreaming City will be tied in to the story in the campaign for Destiny 2's Forsaken quite a lot, so that's going to be very interesting to see. So the Dreaming City and the new raid sounds very exciting. Of course, gear, we also have seen various perks for armor that we'll get from these locations, so that's going to be pretty awesome as well. But some things to take a note of from the press kit for the Forsaken DLC, we do have these images right here of Petra actually running around with a sidearm right there, kind of like the Vestian Dynasty or Dynasty, I think that's what it was called from back in the day. That was a sidearm that we got in the House of Wolves, of course, in the Reef in Destiny 1. But we see her here again, and then we've got another image right here where she's wearing a hood, which is kind of a different style. So obviously this is going to be very interesting because Prince Aldrin is returning as well, and he doesn't entirely appear to be friendly, obviously, with what's happened to Cade. So I'm curious to see the kind of awoken stance and what is happening, and the relationship that we're going to have with characters like Petra. But she will absolutely be back in the game. We also get a couple of images of Aldrin right here as well. And the Drifter, this is the guy who runs the Gambit mode. He'll actually be a vendor. So it's looking like there will be some progression for that, an actual vendor. Presumably there will be unlocks and things to kind of work towards there. As well as this, they have confirmed that it will feature into the Triumphs. But there's a whole bunch more images, guys. I'm going to let this run through. You'll see some new exotics, some new Dreaming City gear, Gambit gear, armor, campaign locations we'll actually go to in the main story. There's even some awesome concept art in there, and a bunch of other stuff, so I'm going to let those run out, guys. But I hope you have enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'll try and bring more coverage from E3 over the next few days. Bungie will be revealing more stuff, so we'll get more kind of specific details about how some of the things in the game mode are going to work, and potentially other systems in the expansion. So I'll keep you guys posted, but if you haven't enjoyed this video, a like is very much appreciated below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe to see a lot more D2 content. Check out my sponsor Into the AM for some awesome clothing, hats, hoodies, shirts, bandanas, accessories, Overwatch League shirts, and a bunch of other stuff. You can save 10% in their store using code Houndish. But for now, I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know any thoughts that you have, and I will catch you very soon.